Hello Dilek, as you mentioned, it is a very important day today in Ankara because President Erdogan made a declaration about Khashoggi case, which was highly anticipated and everyone was waiting about it actually, because the whole world is wondering what happened to Khashoggi. Right now we are going to discuss what he said bullet by bullet, line by line, and what it meant with Nur Özkan Erbay, who is joining us on A News. He's the Ankara Bureau Chief of Daily Sabah newspaper. Welcome to A News. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I was actually going to start with Erdogan's statements, but as you know, an important statement from United Kingdom has come, so I want to ask you about that. United Kingdom said something. They said that if what President Erdogan said is true, and if it is a planned murder, it's very sad and it is very concerning actually. What do you think about that? What do you think about the international reaction that is coming out?
Yeah, actually the President Erdogan's speech today, it's kind of confirming what we have so far, the all details he formulated since October the 2nd and up to now. It's been 20 days actually over the incident. So President Erdogan summarized and formulated the most significant leaks that we have right now as a press, as an international community. So President Erdogan actually became in a position, after we get these reactions, became in a position that the whole community, actually the whole world conscious, looking out for his words. Any single words he will share with, not just with Turkey, not just with the counterparts, or not just with the Saudi government or American counterparts, but the whole community, world community. We're looking out for his words today in the parliament, in the group meeting. So the very recent reaction in this sense from the British government, stating that it is very concerning if it is true that this murder, calculated, premeditated and planned by someone actually pointing in the Saudi administration. So in terms of President Erdogan's position in this whole process, actually we will see more reactions from British government, from United States, as we have been through lately. So every single detail or information will be valuable to just bring up the whole world community together.
Yes, I know. And the international, as you said, the international reaction is probably going to continue coming, and we are going to talk about it more. But right now I want to ask you the actual, what was said on his speech, because it was rather important, isn't it? He was so to the point, and it's not something that we've seen in the diplomatic career. He was so to the point. He said that it is probably planned, the murder is probably planned, and he called out to justice to coming to life. What are you thinking about it? How can you comment as an expert's perspective? How is it important what he said, and how is it important how he said it?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I was actually physically in the group meeting today while President Erdogan gave the speech, and I've just got a sense that President Erdogan doesn't want to restrain relations with the Saudi administration, and naming Saudi King Salman as the custodian of two holy mosques for Muslim world, as well as majesty of the Saudi kingdom. So this gives us a hint that actually Turkey, from the beginning, from the very beginning of this incident, Turkey doesn't want to restrain the relations directly or fuel any conflict or any unresolved situations or unresolved politics between Saudi government and Turkey in terms of Syria, in terms of supporting PKK or any fractions that threats Turkey, or in terms of other issues in the Middle East. So Turkey doesn't want to actually mix up the whole issues together to to take a revenge, if it's true, three wordings, take a revenge or to give a backtrack Saudi government, or to use this as an instrument, to put a leverage on Saudi government. So Turkey takes this issue as a very actually disappointing, this very concerning, concerning issue in terms of humanitarian aspect, in terms of world conscious, in terms of a person who's a journalist killed by, in the consulate, in his soil. And this is very actually, that was a very interesting story from the beginning, because from the beginning Turkey just want to open up the the investigation, and also share the whole leaks, share the whole details about the investigation, whatever it has with the intelligence, with the police, with the, the whole international media, Elif. So Turkey didn't want or claim or seek any other things rather than just enlightening the case. So that actually the President Erdogan underlined that today. In this sense, Turkey wants to open up an international trial if it is accepted by Saudis, by other international actors. So if this 15 people who were confirmed by the Saudi king, as well as President Erdogan shared with during his speech. So if it's possible, if they accept it, so Turkey prefers them to be trialed in Istanbul, where actually this incident, this murder happened.
So yeah, it is. Some sources are saying that Turkey is in rather interesting place at the moment with what is happening with it being happened in the consulate, which is the as you know in the Vienna Agreement, is the soil of another country which the embassy or the consulate belongs to. So they say that Turkey is left in a rather interesting point at the moment. Turkey wants to enlighten stuff. Turkey wants to be open about the investigation, but also Turkey was not able to get in immediately because of the Vienna Agreement. And right now President Erdogan is saying that he wants to full clarity about this issue. And as you know, the Saudi narrative was, firstly, they were saying that he's still in the consulate. Then they were saying they don't know about it, but he's not dead. But right now they're saying he's dead. And President Erdogan was pointing out all of those in his speech and saying that the narrative is actually a little bit shabby, as you know. So when you look at it from that perspective, he is saying that he values, and we do value what we have with Saudi Arabia, because they were so open about the investigation and they wanted to join in. So they don't know who is the actual responsible for that, but he said we are not just going to let them to like 15 people and that's it. We are going to find who ordered them. So when you look at all of this kind of messy situation, actually, how it is going to work out with the Vienna Agreement statement as well, I am wondering about your opinion about it, because he said that with this we cannot solve the issues, so maybe it's going to be reconsidered. Out of all, what do we expect from this investigation to come out?
Yeah, President Erdogan again said that no one should expect Turkey will bury this incident without getting clear answers, answers, despite the fact that Turkey has probably from the beginning all evidences what we have seen so far. Today, Sabah newspapers coverage. There are actually a lot of things about who might perpetrated this murder from the Saudi government administration. And also we have seen a lot of images so far about burning the whole documents, burning the hard disks. Actually the 18 members of Saudi administration who came to 15 of them came to the Istanbul right before the incident, right before the murder. So there is a sense that Turkey has somehow all evidences, clear evidences, concrete elements of this murder, but Turkey wants this trial needs to be held on international level, as you said, Vienna Convention, Vienna Agreement regulates the whole process in a judiciary, in a diplomatic way. But Turkey actually carried out this process from the beginning, not as a concern of Turkey, not as just concern of a Turkey. It was an international concern. So in order to actually carry out this process in terms of intelligence, in terms of police, in terms of all other things, also Turkey carried out a diplomatic process. We see, like President Erdogan called actually Saudi King Salman twice. Probably they call back and return the President Erdogan's call more than actually Turkey called Saudi government, as well as talking with the President Trump, U.S. President Trump. Actually, the U.S. President Trump called President Erdogan 2 days ago. So Turkey was handling this issue from the beginning. Look, the international community, we have this evidences, we have this findings, and we have this element. So we are sharing with all of you guys, the whole international media, all international capitals, governments, so that what have been handling, how we have been handling this issue. So we will be following the same steps, bringing the international actually community together, not just for as a media, not just for as a like bilateral relations, but this time as a law, international law problem. So international concern of international law. So President Erdogan has a characteristic. If he doesn't know or if he is not sure about something, he wouldn't say. So we can clearly say that, as we have been talking actually from the beginning, President Erdogan will be succeeded on to bring whole international community together if should the Saudi government, Saudi officials, Saudi administration will not approach within the same way, actually in a constructive way to solve this problem, not to bury this incident without any answers, without any explanation, without any concrete evidences.
From what you're saying, I understand that you define President Erdogan's speech as a constructive, to the point, and resolving. Am I right? I mean, do you think if it's going to happen,
exactly.
If it's going to happen, it's going to be if it's going to be resolved, it is going to be resolved like this. But we are, as I understand from what you said, we're expecting the moves of the Saudi government now. It's not their turn, isn't it?
Yes.
So it is that we are going to leave the situation there because there's not much to talk about it. But I want to ask you about the President Trump and everything, because you mentioned it, and I know you're an expert on Turkish-American relationship. So I just want to hear from your perspective what is happening. So there was a phone call before, as you know, they agreed with President Erdogan to enlighten the situation on Jamal Khashoggi. And then President Trump lately said that he doesn't actually think that Saudi statement adds up. But before that, he was like very close to it. He was okay with it. Right now, he's saying that it doesn't add up. It's not the first time Trump has a two-sided declarations, we know. But when he says it and he is agreeing with President Erdogan to be in a agreeing that they want to enlighten the situation on Khashoggi case. What do you think is going to happen on Turkish-American relationship-wise?
Yeah, actually, the Khashoggi case is very sad, very heartbreaking, and it's very tremendous events we have been witnessing for probably in this half a century or more than that, not just as a journalist, or as a member of world community and dealing with the international relations and all that stuff. But this case actually brought Turkey to the actually point that in the eyes of international community as a credible, as a reliable credible source of this Ahmet tension, Ahmet incident, Ahmet murder case. So we can get some sense from that point. In Washington, as I know, as I talk with my colleagues and experts from Washington, this is really actually true. I mean, this is clearly actually visible to say that Turkey actually is one of the most trusted, maybe the only sole trusted country and actor in terms of this incident. So from that point, Trump administration probably caught up, hands up in this situation, or vice versa. We don't know if they knew this incident happened, as the report says CIA knew that or intercepted some talkings and discussions between Saudi administration
and Hasbel came to Turkey in Ankara. She's in Ankara at the moment.
Yes, CIA director is in Ankara probably today, and will depart for the Saudi Arabia in tomorrow. So Turkey is most trusted actor, and we can say that Turkey handled this issue perfectly in terms of communication, international communication, political communication, conducting intelligence operations, conducting police operations, and bringing up the whole evidences. So how influence or how will affect Turkish-American relations from that point? Of course, Trump administration post-Brunson, in the post-Brunson term, Turkish-American relations actually jump in a different phase, most likely the positive phase lately. So this cooperating on this case, cooperation on this case will actually empower current Turkish-American relations, we can say. But excluding the governmental relations, as I said before, the international media, international community respect whatever Turkey says, because we see very conflicted statements from Washington, almost no words from the Saudi government from the beginning, and flip-flops from both capitals. So what people think about it? So the Turkey from in the middle point. So just keeping updates, updating the whole community, the whole international media. So I mean, aside from Turkish-American relations, Turkish-Saudi relations, I can definitely say that, and observing that Turkey is rising as a credible regional and international actor out of this very sad story. But this is true because, again, Mr. Trump and also Saudi government were flip-flopping about the evidences or how the incident happened in the consulate. So unconfirmed reports all around wordings. So we can clearly say that will affect Turkish-American relations positively in terms of who actually in the United States, who are the opponents to the Trump administration, or who are the very critical points, including the Mr. Trump's party, Republican Party senators were pushing Mr. Trump, President Trump, to get the clear evidences, to get the confirmations, to get the evidences from the Saudi government. If you are, actually, we can say that statement. If you find the Saudi government, Saudi Arabia as a strategic partner. So you can clearly and easily, you might clearly and easily ask King Salman or Prince Salman that what happened exactly. Yes. So unless you you ask that or you can't. So what are we talking about? So not from just democratic or liberal fractions in the United States, but also Trump side, Republicans, senators in the Congress are very intensively pushing for Trump to get clear answers from that point.
Thank you so much, Ms. Erbay. It was a very insightful thing on this important case, actually. We were listening to Ms. Nur Özkan Erbay. She was with me, the Daily Sabah Ankara Bureau Chief. It is what is happening in the Khashoggi case at the moment. We will be informing you more about it as the information comes. But right now, from the capital to Istanbul in the main studios.